It's a great day here at KEKFILA's YouTube channel. I am the Doflamingo player, KEKFILA, and I am today facing my opponent. He actually lives from Vegas. We know some of the same people. I don't know him very well, but my opponent's playing Whitebeard. I'm playing Doflamingo. I believe I win the die roll, and I decide to go first. Generally, in this matchup, I really highly suggest not letting Whitebeard go first. Just keeps him a little too offensive, and it's pretty strong. So we go with this, and then I look like I took the top 5 cards of my deck. I probably mulligan. My opponent doesn't mulligan, and it looks like I mulligan, right? So I don't know, he just didn't mulligan right away. So I'm like, okay, well, he just basically told me he's not mulliganing, so I'm gonna mulligan because I think my hand was bad anyway. Doesn't matter. Thank you everybody for watching these again. This is the PLAYTCG from July 15th, and just a regional for One Piece for the OPO3 set. And a couple shout outs I do want to give is that was hanging out with Will to Win Gaming most of the time in his channel. Big things are happening on his Discord and his Patreon. Please check that out in the description below. And we're just gonna go from here. I decided to keep this hand, obviously, but I do get a little lucky and see my Perona. And from that, I decide to put it in the specific order that I like to do. And I leave it on top of the deck. He plays an Ezo, and from that Ezo, he picks up a Speed Jill, which is pretty good on his next Dawn curve. I go to 3 Dawn, and I attach 2 Dawn my leader, swinging 7, playing the Boa Hancock. Just I need to be aggressive, get a field out. This is exactly what I need to do against Whitebeard. If I don't see Warlords at the top of the deck, it ends up being kind of a different game. So he swings 6. He's obviously going to play the Speed Jill by searching that out and seeing that. I know that's what his plan is going to be. He's not really going to give me an issue with my Boa Hancock, and my Boa actually may want to stay standing because I want to attack that with that later. So I swing 6 at his leader. I pay 4 for the 4/6 Vanilla Moria. Again, I'm just kind of playing a more of a late game strategy at this point. He's already taken a couple damage from me, so now he's down to 3 life. So it's going to be kind of hard to really play something different here. I take the first 6k. And he swings 6k again. I give him a 1k and a 1k, so I give him 2 1ks. He plays the Thatch. Obviously, super good curve with Thatch. Very good card to play on that curve. And I go with my next turn here, which I'm thinking here now. I did skill, then I drew a card, then I have I think I know the last card of my deck. I'm the 5th card of that top 5 search at this point. Looks like I have a floating Dawn active here. And I really want this Speed Jill to die really bad. So I attach 3. I pay for 1, playing that Gecko Moria, and I swing 8 at that Speed Jill. I really want that Speed Jill gone. He's at 2 life, so I'm not really too worried about that. And I'm going to attach... looks like I'm playing 1 for the Perona. And... looks like I'm just stacking my deck again. I guess I just don't want to do it on my next turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm looking for a Mihawk. That's right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I need to look at my next cards to stack the deck, so because I have 0 idea what's on top of my deck now. So that makes complete sense, and I need to attack with both these cards right now. So I look at this, stack it in a particular order, and then I decide to attach 1 first and do Boa Hancock swing so I can draw. I swing for 6, drawing 1. And he decides to counter out with the Marco. And then I swing 7 at his leader, and he decides to counter out that again. 2k. Essentially pretty good. I have a pretty good field. He's out of this turn. Ace is obviously a pretty good play for this turn when he's on his 8 Dawn turn. And let's see what he does play. He plays an Otama. Minusing my Boa. Playing a Marco. Killing the Boa. Swinging 7. This Gecko Moria. And it looks like I left it go. And he's just swinging Statch. The other Gecko Moria Great. So you have to give him a 2K and a 1K. And I really do want to do that because I kind of really need to punch him this next turn. Because he's going to be at 1 life, and I give him a 2K and a 1K. And I just need a body. And I think it looks like I just draw. And I probably play a Mihawk just to bottom deck his Thatch. It's just a little too big, right? And I probably just end turn with that. I don't really want to use my Gekomori to eat his hand up or anything. His hand's already big. And I want to eat it up later, essentially, right? So I'm just thinking, do I do his Thatch or do I do his Marco? But I just had to do a Thatch because that's just a lot more efficient. I can't use 1,000 Worlds on that. I'm probably not going to get a second Mihawk after all of this. I skip a few seconds ahead here. And he decides, you know, play Whitebeard on his 10 Dawn curve. Just makes lots of sense. So he goes up to 8K. And he does put a die there to signify that as well. He swings 6K in my lead. And I give him a 2K. And then swing 8K. And then that's it from there. And I'm thinking about what's my next move here. So it looks like I'm spacing out some Dawn to do a top searcher. Blocker, and he's at 8K, and I just do this first. Playing out the blocker. And then looks like I swing 6K at the Marco. He ditches a Marco. Which is pretty cool, pretty juice. I mean, one trigger from his hand is worth a lot more than 1K. So that's why I'm fine. So I swing 9 at the Marco. And he thinks for a moment. He just lets it die. He doesn't even ditch anything for it. Just lets it die, which I was just kind of shocked about. I didn't actually know what to do at this point because I kind of planned around that happening. And I actually don't have a Love Mellow, I believe, in this situation. I have a Bluff Mellow. I go 9, paying 1, getting a Gekomori out, and my opponent has to look at this and go, wow, pretty good. Places down that Jozu, and again, and my thought of this is that I have to have this Bluff Mellow with my very limited hand of 3 cards, right, and to guard out to protect my Mihawk. My Mihawk back there is just kind of sitting comfortably, and I don't want to deal with that. He Otamas the blocker, so he can Whitebeard kill it. So now he's at a solid 12. So if he does want to kill the Mihawk, because he's not going to be able to deal with that major attack, right? So he ends up swinging 14 of my Mihawk. And so I need a total of 6K counter. And unfortunately, I didn't have Love Mellow. If I had a Love Mellow, I immediately use that, and then I'm just fine. But it dies. He swings 6, and I'm not sure what he swung at with a 6, but it looks like I gave him a 2K. Most luckily my leader, and he plays the blocker Marco, putting him in a pretty juicy spot. So I can't just like load up Dawn and kill his character, but really I'm attacking life at this point. So I'm at 3 life. I'm setting everything up for this next turn, and I'm spacing my Dawn out here. I pushed to 2 Dawn on my leader here. I put 3 Dawn, paying 1. I play out the Boa Hancock. I don't want him to be able to fight my board at this point. I want him to really have to go for the game, and so he gives me a guard point, right? And it looks like I load up 2 Dawn, swinging 8 at his leader. I need him to block and give me something essentially, but he gives me. I'm like, what did you do? He gives me a 2K and a 1K, so give me the Jozu. So, I'm still thinking here, and I'm still, again, I still need a Love Mellow, I think, out of my life in case, you know, he goes for lethal. I'm basically forcing him to go for lethal. I actually swing 6 at him, and maybe it's because his hand is just so small, and I think his hand was entirely small, so he blocks it, getting rid of this. He only has 1 card in hand now, actually, so that's why. And I'm thinking, wow, I could swing 6K of this Perona. That would be hilarious. But I decide just to keep 2 Dawn up. In the very, very really rare case I see a Love Mellow, I need to see a Love Mellow in order to survive this game, possibly, right? So I'm just putting him in an impossible situation where he thinks I definitely have a Mellow. And again, these are just mellow mind games that come up, and my opponent either has to go for it, and I have to roll. I love mellow my life. So he plays down the ace, minusing both of the Gecko Morias. And this is where he can, you know, obviously fight my board if he has an ace. But his hand is so limited, I'm just going to kill him next turn if I have 2 attacks, right? So he ends up swinging 7 at one of the Morias. And I actually make a mistake here. I think I do have a mellow in hand. I make a mistake here. And I asked my opponent if that's okay if I take it back, and he was fine, because I couldn't do math. I love mellow. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't look at it yet. Wait a minute, is that okay? Because I forgot 3 plus 4 is 7. I probably would have been fine. I could have just thrown one more K and been fine. Okay, that's the main thing. So I just let it die. I just forget how math works, and then he attaches 2. He swings at the Boa Hancock, just KOing the Gecko Moria, and I'm like, well, I need this much power to guard this. Pretty rough. And so, that's fine. Actually, he KOs the Perona, and this is why he KO'd the Perona. Okay, I could just throw 6 Dawn on the Perona. And then so much Dawn on my leader and still kill him, right? That's essentially why he did that. Because the Perona is actually a good attacker here. So he goes 3k, I give him a 1k, and he does this. And I do love mellow to get my Gecko Moria out of this. And he doesn't use the blocker, obviously. He has 1 card in hand. No active, unfortunately. He kind of showed he had no active there. So I'm thinking, what's the best case scenario? I could do a lot of things. I can attack twice for big. But instead he only has 1 card in hand. I'm just going to do the cool play. I'm going to pay 9. And I'm going to bottom deck the blocker, which is fine. Now he has 1 card in hand. I actually... Hold on, listen. I messed up here. But I was fine. I swing 7. So if he has a 2k counter, he just counters out. If I just swing 6 and 6, I win no matter what. Pretty funny. So that's the main thing we're talking about, which is kind of funny how that goes. But let's go, dude. I went 7 and 2 again. Another one of these regional Treasure Cup online things. And yeah, it was pretty hilarious. I do appreciate everybody watching these videos. I had a pretty good day. Awesome everything from Twitch. I got 23rd place, which, you know, I have all these cards I need to sell. If anyone wants to buy some of these cards, let me know. And we'll see where that goes. And I just want to thank all of you for watching. If you've watched through all this, you are the true OG. And I'll be doing a lot of work this next couple tournaments. I'm basically in every webcam tournament. I'm also going to be in Pasadena. For September 2nd, 3rd for that regional. And that's going to be tons of fun. Building Doflamingo there. Please come up and say hi to me. And I guess I'll see you in the next video, whatever that may be. Ciao.